we have on the line Maryland delegate Pat McDonough with the other side of the coin here. Sir, how are you?
I'm fine, Chris. Thank you for having me on.
You bet. Thanks for calling in. You were just listening and said, hey, I know this story.
Well, I'm calling you from the floor of the Maryland General Asylum. And I can tell you that the mindset that Delegate Jolie has is the mindset down here by the supermajority, and that makes it very scary.
Yeah, Jolene Ivey this morning on WMAL with Larry and with Dan Bongino in for Brian Wilson this morning. And I was listening to it, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, where's the argument in favor of... and the argument is, I guess, if there's a car accident, you're less likely to flee the scene because although you're in the country illegally, although you're in a car accident, you'll stay because you have a driver's license.
Well, there's a lot of things wrong with that. Number one, in Maryland, you do not have to have automobile insurance in order to obtain a driver's license. That's number one. Number two, a lot of these folks, they get automobile insurance for one payment and then they drop it. That's a common practice. Number three, the insurance industry has study after study indicating that their involvement in accidents are a 4-to-1 ratio compared to other folks. So they're not making it safer in Maryland. They're making it much more dangerous for this state because this is another magnet. In other words, Maryland is already a Disneyland for illegal aliens. We give them in-state tuition. We give them workers' compensation. We spend $1 billion a year on K-12 education. And now this is another incentive for them to come to this state, and we have to pay for them.
And you're saying that the Insurance Institute, and I find it fascinating because you talk to a Democrat and you say, well, don't you have to have a Social Security number? And her response is, you should look into that.
Well, if you look into it, you'll find out that you really, under the law, should have a Social Security number in order to be a confirmed employee in the United States. All they have is an I-10 number. That was a decision made by the federal bureaucrats.
Is your phone getting away from you a little bit there? You're fading out a little there. But you cited. But I also want to say you cited the Insurance Institute study, and the Insurance Institute study says that people who are in the country illegally are 4 times as likely to be involved in car accidents.
Right, and also you have the issue of national security. You know what we have in Maryland. We have Washington, D.C., we have the NSA, we have the Annapolis Naval Academy, we have Fort Meade, and the Hanny Hanchor, the terrorist that flew the plane into the Pentagon on 9/11, got his driver's license in Maryland. So this is a serious national security issue.
So you believe, obviously, I'm gathering, that Delegate Jolene Ivey and her fellow travelers on this matter are not making a good argument, and they're not making Maryland safer.
Well, they're not making a good argument for me or Chris Plant or what I consider to be reasonable people, but they're making a good argument in this sanctuary General Assembly where the governor and the leadership of this place are totally in favor of illegal aliens coming into this state and the rest of us taking care of them. This is the biggest sanctuary state in the country besides California, and it's certainly the biggest one on the East Coast. Only 3 states provide driver's licenses for illegal aliens.
I'm still looking for the upside of this, look, Delegate Ivey says that people are less likely to flee the scene of hit-and-run accident, for example, that, people are more likely to get insurance. Do you believe that's the case?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I think what we're going to do, we have 350,000 illegal aliens in the state of Maryland costing about $2 billion in hidden taxes, and this is going to attract more. I mean, people are people. If you're an illegal alien and you come across the border, why would you not go to a state that provides a driver's license, in-state tuition, workers' compensation, other benefits, and has a political structure leadership that supports you? You're going to go to that state.
Now, they're undocumented Democrats as far as the Democrat Party is concerned, and this is about the, long-term race-based voting coalition.
There you go.
Of the Democrat Party.
That's what it's all about. It's all about voting, and in Maryland they just passed a law that you can vote on Election Day, and you can vote by computer, and...
Well, you can register on Election Day.
register and vote.
Yeah, register to vote on Election Day. Yeah, that's part of, getting people from homeless shelters and, and anybody passing by on the street that you can pass out a pack of cigarettes to register to vote, and then to, give them a ride to the polling place and tell them who to vote for, which is a time-honored custom in the Democrat Party. Friends of the Democrats do that sort of stuff all the time. The woman who's the owner of the Jefferson Hotel on 16th Street, where Barack Obama recently had his famous dinner with the Republican senators, and they act like it was the Paris Peace Accords. That the woman who owns the hotel is a Park Avenue, maven from a billionaire family that was busted doing exactly what I just described in Milwaukee the day that George W. Bush beat Al Gore.
Well, here's the thing. I was at a meeting the other day. It was 200 people there, and I said, raise your hand if you think Maryland is a Democrat state. And they all raised their hand, and I said, you're wrong. And they looked at me like I was crazy. They said, what do you mean, delegate? I said, it's not a Democrat state. It's not like the Democrats in Harford County or the Democrats in Anne Arundel County. This is a radical state. It's radical. Last year they passed in-state tuition. They passed gay marriage. They passed taxes on 100,000-aires. Now they're passing this year the most oppressive gun bill in the country, windmills out on the Atlantic Ocean, repeal of the death penalty. It goes on and on, plus these licenses. And the governor of this state, Martin O'Malley, the most liberal governor in the United States, is running for president, and he's using all of these radical issues to prop up his bona fides for the Democrat primaries.
Other than that, I think things are looking pretty good in Maryland. Delegate Pat McDonough, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
You bet.